We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. Good day and welcome to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. Lots happening, interesting times we live in, etc. so on. This show is about the news and the conspiracy that has become the news, and that's part of the inside joke that you guys are now a part of. And the news itself is kind of a joke. Not the individual news stories. Well, some of those are a joke as well. But the news overall, the news in and of itself, and the things and the way they report them with their supercharged clickbait agendas and their hyper propaganda and their division politics, and the fact that they use all of the information out there to make you hate me and me hate you. And we don't have to. I just this show is about that, about kind of breaking down the news in those terms and realizing that it doesn't have to be that way. And there's good information out there that will educate people, that will bring people together. And that's what this is about instead, looking at information and looking forward instead of looking backwards and trying to make things best for people. And, like I always say, I'm a knucklehead on the internet with a microphone, and that's the truth. And hopefully somebody out there is hearing it that can pass on the word and spread the good information. That we just don't have to hate each other. We just don't have to do it. It's just it is what it is, right? But that's why this show started. And we were actually doing Troubled Minds. That's the other show. And it's aliens, conspiracy, paranormal. And we did the news over there. We did like a huge news segment. It just kept growing and growing. It took over half the damn show. And then we stopped talking about aliens because we were talking about the news instead. So instead, we made a whole damn show. And here we are. Cooking a steak. What's up, guys? I see y'all in chat. Thanks for showing up. So that's what's up. That's what this show really is. It's just kind of a quick look at the news, kind of on a day-by-day basis, just a quick hour, and what's really happening out there. And that's what's up. And so with all of that said, now I do know that a lot of the propagandists, of course, they have to repeat all the things as fast as possible. Like I make the joke about Wolf Blitzer breathlessly trying to say Orange Man bad as many times as he can in 90 seconds and then try and top it in the next 90 seconds. Like, that's what they're doing, right? So they'll never allow you to interrupt them with a phone call. But me, on the other hand, well, you can dial this phone number. You can get on the show right now. Or you can join the Discord. If you want to call, 702-957-1037. All this is a open, transparent process, and I'm here to prove we can agree or we can disagree, and we don't have to hate each other. And it's pretty simple. One more time, 702-957-1037. That's Las Vegas area code. That's where we're streaming from. And troubledminds.org is the official website. You can find the actual Discord. The Discord, yes, that's what I was looking for, the Discord. And join the Discord. Lots of good people, lots of smart people over there, and the conversation goes on 24 hours a day. All right. I think that's enough. I think you guys get the point. That's all the things the show's about. What's up, guys? Like I said, I see you in chat. Hello. Let's do it. Let's go to this. Let's go to Vox.com. Now, the headline reads this: Supreme Court considers if churchgoers have a right to sing indoors in a pandemic. You don't say. Less than 5 months ago, the plaintiffs in South Bay United Pentecostal Church v. Newsom would have had little chance of prevailing. They seek exemptions from a California public health order requiring many institutions, including houses of worship, to gather outside to avoid spreading COVID-19. They also seek an exemption from a statewide ban on singing or chanting indoors. Statewide ban singing or chanting indoors. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It seems a little bit weird. You would just stop the singing and the chanting because it's particularly dangerous, I guess. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I guess there's another one going on here with the state of New York and Cuomo. So let's see. A lot has happened in the last 5 months, which suggests that the South Bay plaintiffs are now likely to prevail. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died and was replaced by the hardline conservative Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Wow, yeah. Then on the night before Thanksgiving, the Supreme Court handed down a revolutionary decision that upended decades of precedent distinguishing between laws that discriminate against people of faith, which are typically not allowed, and laws that apply to religious and secular institutions alike, which were typically permitted. Now, I think this is part of the problem, right, is that when you start looking at these things, you know, I mean, there's people that believe, there's people that believe in these religions, and that's okay. It's you're allowed to do that, yeah, right? It's just like part of having an opinion on anything else. And it seems to me that when you start cracking down on churches and not, well, I mean, I guess I guess to say that it's a one-sided affair is not really the case, because they're pretty much cracking down on everything and all the small businesses, right? So, but not the big ones. So I think that's the biggest problem here. And again, back to the churches. So singing is now suddenly dangerous in inside, and it's not dangerous outside. So they say, I don't know. Like they remember, like I think it was in November, sometime like that. They had the case of the people that were singing indoors, and like a high percentage of them got COVID because somebody had it, and then they were all shouting, doing that sort of thing. And so when you're doing that, it's sending out germs into the air, and it was commingling and all the rest of this. I don't know. It just seems like another war on religious people to me. It's just I don't think it's right. I just don't think it's right. Like again, do we or do we not have our own make our own decisions on the risks we take? I mean, I think that's the question here, right? And I'm not saying to go get COVID and spread it to Granny and kill Granny, right? That's what everybody, all the detractors to what I would say here, would say that. You want to kill people. No, I don't want to kill anybody. Nobody. I don't want to kill anybody. Zero people. But I mean, this is the thing, and this is actually there was a smart argument to this. Okay, pandemic or not, is that we would all be safe, you realize, if they locked every single one of us in our own personal rubber room and fed us a liquid diet so we didn't choke, right? So there's no way we could choke. We can't smash ourselves into the wall and kill ourselves. We're pretty much as safe gets, all right? And then, if you stop eating, they can force feed you, I guess. But you're safe, right? You're completely safe. Nothing can hurt you, and instead, well, look what you've given up for being completely safe. So you understand there's literally a smart argument against it, is how much of your autonomy do you want to give up because of things like this, because they don't allow you to determine your own level of risk, right? So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here, because these are some hard times. These are some unprecedented times. And there are people dying in these things, and it does suck. And, I've known people that had it. I've known people that have actually passed away from it. It's bad. This is bad. But again, at what point, I think we're now a year into this, and nothing's changing. Like the lockdowns are strong. I mean, they're starting to release them barely in California. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't know why you do it now. I mean, you got this far. So why not just keep the foot on the lockdown gas, and then anyway, whatever. I digress. I'm just kind of talking through this here. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Given this, do you think that the churchgoers should have a right to sing indoors during a pandemic, or do you think this is just more political BS to again, division, right? To make people of faith hate people that are not of faith, and vice versa. I think that's partly what I'm getting at. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Again, like I said, I don't know. I don't have the answers here. Just kind of talking out loud, asking some questions. 702-957-1037. I want to hear what you have to say, and if this is I don't know if this is even a thing. I don't know. Again, this is not the answer show. This is the question show. So welcome to that. Here we go. Let's go to the StarTribune.com. And this one's pretty good. Minnesota town is flummoxed by resident who claims he's above the law. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. The report by a sheriff's deputy got right to the point. Goats are out again, it read. No further explanation was needed because every deputy in Grant County knew exactly what it meant. Since April last year, they've paid more than 24 visits to one home in this western Minnesota town of 1,200 residents. I think this might be Frank's house, guys. This might be Frank. I don't know. So complaints by neighbors have included goats on the loose, dogs on the run, trash piles and junk vehicles, flying a Confederate flag, posting a threatening sign. Yet trash still litters the lawn. The dogs still roam free. The junk vehicles haven't moved because the owner of the property, 32-year-old Brian M. Nelson, doesn't believe the law applies to him. He said so many times, according to the police reports and court records, when officers confronted him in June about trash in his yard, he stated that this was his property and that he was not subjected to the city ordinances, a deputy wrote. When deputies warned him in July about keeping goats, which aren't allowed in city limits, Brian became belligerent about the city's ordinances, a report said. Anyway, anybody have neighbors like this? Anybody else just kind of like this themselves? I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny because the goats are out again, right? The goats are out. And, back to the nature of laws. Is it... you have to be able to give faith in the government to write laws that are good for all people, right? But of course, I think if you pay close enough attention, you start to see that that's not the case. They write laws in favor of these people and not those people, right? Different groups or socioeconomics or this or that, or the other thing. Like you can make a case for any of it, Like there's a case right now that's out, not like an actual Supreme Court case or anything, but people in the public square are trying to make the case that this entire system's racist and it should be completely abolished because of that. Well, fine. Again, I'm a free speech guy. I think you should be able to say that. But I would appreciate very much if you would have a plan for what happens when you burn the whole MFer down. That's what I want to know, right? But anyway, pretty good stuff here. I thought the goats are out again. It was pretty apt because, well, sometimes the goats are out again. and this guy, should the city be able to tell him what to do if he indeed owns this property? And again, good things to think about, right? So there's so many things we take for granted as far as laws go and things like this, and not really realizing that every single law that's enacted in some capacity encroaches on your freedom, and it does, and that's true. But to be an absolutist one way or the other there and say there should be absolutely no laws, or you should all the laws, we should have all the laws. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of conversation there, a lot of things to think about, and we don't have to take these things for granted. We can think about this as citizens of this place, of this world, of this country, of wherever we're living, and understand that it's not always like they're trying to make it seem, like just because it's always been this way doesn't mean it always has to be that way. That's kind of my point. What's up? But 40s, your goats are out. Get the goats back inside, buddy. Let's see. V-Bro, what's up? Says, some of us just want to see the world burn. Do you want to see the world burn, man? I don't want to see the world burn. I just don't. I don't think so. That's not good. What's up, Dolly says, I'm surprised they haven't come out saying COVID can infect domesticated animals, so no dogs and cats. I think they have, haven't they? I think they kind of have. Yeah, I think so. All right. Anyway, let's move on. But food for thought. Things don't have to be the way that they are. we can change them, and we're allowed to ask those types of questions, right? I think the last week has kind of showed us that things don't have to be the status quo. Yeah. Do you really want to just see the world burn, bro? I don't know about that, man. That seems counterproductive to me, to just burn it all down. Just well, okay, whatever. Let's see. Vbro, I live in the hood. We don't call the police. Okay, I can buy that, because they probably jack you up, right? They probably mess with you. All right, this is from compsmag.com. This is pretty funny. I thought this was interesting, that we should take a quick look at some of the new news highlights, the dumbest hacks ever. All right, this one's great. When you hear cybersecurity professionals talking about hacker fingerprints, they are usually referring to tracks, digital traces left by a perpetrator. These types of fingerprints can help attribute a broad attack, but it remains nearly impossible to get a definitive attribution based purely on such cyber evidence. Unless that's the case, you were the hacker. Unless that's the case, you were the hacker responsible for this attack on a luxury goods company that took place in 2018, but has just been revealed by Heinemeyer. Now, that was a poorly written sentence, but okay, I digress. Let's continue. Quote, the dark trace AI discovered what may be the first hack where the perpetrators intentionally left their fingerprints at the crime scene, says Heinemeyer. Literally, their fingerprints. The luxury goods retailer had installed 10 fingerprint scanners to limit access to warehouses and thus reduce risks. Without them knowing, continues Heinemeyer, an attack began exploiting vulnerabilities in one of the scanners. And perhaps the strangest hacker move yet, they began deleting authorized fingerprints and uploading their own fingerprints in hopes of gaining physical access. Oh boy, I tell you, sometimes you just don't want to get what you want, or you should probably avoid it. The AI brain picked this up because one scanner behaved differently from the other, so the security team was aware of the attack within minutes, and of course, had some pretty compelling evidence for law enforcement. Yeah, well, it just goes to show, right? Not all the hackers out there are evil geniuses. There's some knuckleheads as well. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, and it is pretty funny. Here we go. Quick word from our sponsor, which, by the way, is you. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. All right, there we go. Let's move on to this. This is from news.yahoo.com, and good old Yahoo News. Uploading your fingerprints to an AI. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, especially if you're trying to steal some things. That's double no-no. Here we go. Yahoo News reports this. CDC orders sweeping U.S. transportation mask mandate as COVID-19 rages. All right, well, the language, as always, look at the propaganda and the language. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, issued a sweeping order late Friday requiring the use of face masks on nearly all forms of public transportation Monday as the country continues to report thousands of daily COVID deaths. The order, which takes effect at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, requires face masks to be worn by all travelers on airplanes, ships, trains, subways, buses, taxis, and ride shares, and at transportation hubs like airports, bus or ferry terminals, train and subway stations, and seaports. President Joe Biden on January 21st ordered government agencies to immediately take action to require masks in airports and on commercial aircraft, trains, and public maritime vessels, including ferries. My mic arm is in the way of the article here. Let's see. And intercity bus services and all public transportation. So anyway, I think it's weird, again, and still that I think last week, did we talk about this? Maybe we didn't even talk about this, but now people are wearing 2 masks, right? it's turned into like you can wear 2 masks, but don't wear 3 because you might choke yourself out, right? Like this is what's going on now. So I don't know. Like this thing is just still weird. It's like we live in this fantasy land. Like these masks have changed the world when nothing's really changed. A little bit bizarre. What's up? Vibrosa says, I think it's just not a world that will ever be what we want as a whole. That's what I mean. And I get what you're saying about it would be great if we could all get along. Yeah, I mean, it starts with us though, right? I mean, I believe in the power of the individual. And that's and I think, again, if you go look at that GameStop thing that just happened, that was the power of the individual, a collective of individuals that got together and made a point, So anyway, not to soapbox and digress it into all that, but anyway, just curious that the CDC orders this sweeping mandate of masks on public transportation of all types, and we'll see where this goes as this continues, because now it's 1 mask. There's now the people in the White House are wearing 2 masks. I saw homegirl, the redhead, whatever her name is, that's doing the press briefings there, came out and she pulled 2 masks off. I was like, wait, what? Are we doing this now? I guess we're doing this now. Okay, this one is from and shout out to Dwayne Dibley out there if you're out there actually watching. But he taught me how to get around paywalls. So here we go. We can go back to the Epic Times, and the Epic Times reports this: stimulus checks helped fuel GameStop stock surge, says billionaire Gudlanch. And we talked about this actually before this went down. The idea was that we have a lot of people that may or may not need that money, right? And so you're pumping this money into the economy as a, quote, stimulus, okay, which is supposed to be used to purchase services and goods and, this type of thing. And that's how it stimulates the economy, right? Well, if that money goes into creating a stock market bubble, basically printing money and pumping it into the stock market, I think we have a different situation, don't we? I think that there's something else at play here. But anyway, this guy thinks so too. This is from January 30th. What the hell's the date today? I never know what damn day it is. It's the 31st. How about that? We made it through 1 month of 2021, guys. Congratulations if you're listening today. All right, so the latest round of stimulus checks led to GameStop stock surging, according to a money manager, which we've been talking about, this GameStop stuff, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But the interesting part is that the stimulus money, they think, is causing these weird stock market anomalies. So anyway, quote, I think wherewithal from governmental stimulus ultimately is really the cause, Jeffrey Gundlach, a billionaire bond fund manager, said during an appearance on Fox Business. And I like this. I like that he uses the term wherewithal. I think wherewithal from governmental stimulus, right? It's like, well, this is why we can't have poor people with resources, because you see what they do when they get resources. They screw the rich guys, and we just can't have that, right? So the poor people need to stay as poor as possible so they can't screw the rich guys, right? Yeah, that's kind of what he's saying, isn't it? I think that's kind of what he's saying. Congress passed, and then Donald Trump signed late last year a fresh CCP virus relief package that included $600 checks to most Americans. The checks began being sent out on December 29th. GameStop stock began surging last month, spurred by retail investors urging each other to buy on a Reddit subforum. Gundlach asserted the rise was due mainly to the relief package. He says, quote, in this case, here, let's give you a better look. In this case, thanks to primarily, I would say, governmental policy, there's wherewithal among investors, if you want to call them that, or speculators, with government money being sprayed all over the place, with checks to people that they have the wherewithal to put together into a real capital base. And in this case, there were 2.1 million people that somehow got organized on Reddit and managed to get about $20 billion of buying power, he said. Large gains came in part because of short positions taken by hedge funds, essentially betting on the downfall of GameStop, blah, blah. We already talked about that quite a lot. But do you think that this in particular is going to cause a new situation, a bigger thing here? As Mr. Arc Platinum there said on the Discord, is this the beginning of a larger stock market bubble where we're pumping basically printed monopoly money into the stock market, causing these weird whatever the hell's going on right now, highly volatile situations, I guess they would say. And now we have this weird is the thing going to collapse again? It's propped up by all this phony money that's not really backed by anything other than the Federal Reserve and the power of the government. And again, they're not. If people aren't using it to buy food, they're doing stuff like this. So this is interesting. And I do think this dude, Jeffrey Gundlach, CEO of Double Line Capital. The way he puts this is basically right. Like they have the wherewithal of the poor people, the plebs, and they get together, and it's just unacceptable, because they come get us, and they come, now I can't sell short for billions of dollars and make 3% every day because these assholes are going to get in my way, and we cannot let them have the wherewithal. The wherewithal. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Anyway. I continue. I digress. I'll continue as I digress. How about that? How about that? All right. Let's go. My brain's waking up. Let's see. Okay, we did talk about the two masks. Okay, thank you. It all blends together in my head. It's all one big bundle of conspiracy news. Let's see. Told you to stay home. Let's see. Definitely good stuff. Okay, reading the chat. All right, catching up. Here we go, guys. RobinHood CEO refutes GameStop hedge fund conspiracy theory and reveals what actually happened. Did you guys hear about this? I'm sure you have because we talked about it quite a lot. But just to brief you if you didn't. So it goes like this. The GameStop thing happened. They were screwing the hedge funds. They were pumping up the price of the stock artificially. And then RobinHood froze actions on particular stocks that they were targeting, okay? And not just Robinhood, there were other apps that did as well. And so, as a result of this, the Robinhood CEO actually came out and said, no, it had nothing to do with that. It's a normal thing that happens in a high volatility trading, blah, blah. Here we go. Let's read some of this. With the exponential 500% run-up of GameStop's stock this week reversed on Thursday to come crashing down after trading platforms like Robinhood blocked customers from buying shares, there was no shortage of outrage and theories as to what was behind the trading platform's decision. One theory in particular alleging the decision may have stemmed from outside pressure coming from hedge funds shorting GameStop's stock quickly gained attention from a surprising group, including Senator Ted Cruz, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Reddit, Fox News, CNN, and the Winklevoss twins. Everybody remembers the Winklevoss twins from the Facebook thing? Anyway, it continues. It's easy to see why the theory caught on so quickly, considering Robinhood, most major brokerages, does indeed sell its users order flow to Citadel, which is again, a hedge fund that this week helped inject more than $2 billion into another hedge fund, Melvin Capital, which saw losses from its short position against GameStop quickly pile up. Okay, so Robinhood is owned by Citadel, who pumped money into Melvin Capital, which was clearly losing money based on this Reddit thing, and then so they froze the ability to buy more of the stock and pump up the price, okay? Which seems dirty, right? But anyway, this guy, the CEO, says that on that conspiracy theory, I think I've over and over again said it's not true. He told Yahoo Finance, our decision to temporarily restrict customers from buying certain securities had nothing to do with a market maker or a market participant or anyone like that putting pressure on us or asking us to do that. It was entirely about market dynamics and clearing house deposit requirements as per regulations. Okay, which means, so what are those regulations? Without going into too much detail, right from the article here, brokerages like Robinhood typically route trades through a clearinghouse, which helps streamline the trading process until customer trades, like buying GameStop shares, settle. Usually, that process takes a couple of business days to settle, and the clearinghouse taking on that trade is required to put up collateral on behalf of the broker to help facilitate a trade forward as an intermediary. But when volatility strikes and shares move up and down over those 2 settling days, that process can become prohibitively expensive. So again, what they're saying here is that this was not a big conspiracy of somebody telling them to shut it down. This was actually because of the volatility of the trading, and that they couldn't cover the costs as somebody deposited and went to buy the stock, and it takes business days. I don't know. I don't even know if this is true. It sounds like a great way to deflect for sure. And if it is true, or at least even partially true, then then maybe there's some precedent to this, and maybe this has happened before. Maybe freezing a stock for a particular volatile trading period or whatever. But I don't know. Again, I don't know if anybody knows about this. You know what to do. I'd love to hear from you. Again, this is not a stock market show, so don't worry. We're only talking about it because it's in the news. And some of the stuff that happened recently is pretty conspiratorial, if you ask me. But anyway, if you have a take on this, 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, get in here, and we will talk. We will talk about these things. Hold on. Am I even in the Discord? Let me see. Maybe I'm not. Well, see, sometimes you're ahead of the game, sometimes you're not. But now I'm ahead of the game. I'm back ahead. All right, I'm in the Discord. Okay, let's see. But this was prophesized in Revelation, says Vibro, and I'm also on the fence about that. It's up to interpretation. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think regarding the biblical prophecy stuff, I think it's something. It's kind of like the alien invasion, right? I see them the same way, meaning that let's say that there are 2 things that are completely different. I don't mean they're related at all. I don't mean the aliens are going to come as part of Revelation. I mean, let's say the alien invasion and like Revelation are 2 totally different things. Just let me digress here for a sec on a great comment in the chat. There is that I think of it this way. So if aliens are like a million generations ahead of us technology wise, and they wanted us done, there's literally nothing we could do. I mean, in a physical war, we're screwed, period. Right? So considering that in particular, like losing sleep over that particular scenario, to me, it seems like a waste of time. It's like seems like you're worrying over nothing, because there's nothing you could do anyway, right? Like, so you're supposed to worry about the things that are that you can control, right? Things you can control. In this case, I'm not sure that you can, right? And so the same thing, I think, with biblical revelation, whether it's happening or not, the scripture says thief in the night, it's supposed to come and nobody's going to know. There's going to be a bunch of fake prophets saying they know. And, I think that's what gets me the most. And it's the same sort of thing, right? If all that stuff is real, and I'm not, giving it one way or the other, you decide. But if it is, then it's the same thing, right? There's nothing you could do about it. Like, you control you, and you be the best person you can, and let the chips fall where they may, and that's the way I see it. And I don't mean to be a downer about it. I just to me, it's not worth worrying about. Like the end. The end is not. The end will be the end when the end comes, and little things mere mortals can do about it from now till then, in my opinion, are to stop the end are futile. Let's say futile. Anyway, as we continue, and I digress there. Thank you for the great comment. Actually, let's take a quick break, and then we'll finish this one. We'll go to this, and if you guys are live, you know how these quick breaks go. You're listening to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. We will be right back. Okay, welcome back to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. Here we go. Let's keep on moving. This is from techblog.com, and this is pretty cool, I thought. Another what is this? This is a first look at Hyundai's Airport Air 1. It's called Airport Air 1, the first hub for future electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. The eVTOL. VTOL is vertical takeoff and landing. And this is a little bit interesting. If you want to see the picture, let's put this up full screen for a sec. and you can see what this looks like. All right, there's like this landing port, right? So this is like the flying car, right? This is like the Jetsons and all that stuff that we've been promised, right? In sci-fi and all the rest of this. We're supposed to have flying cars now, aren't we? I mean, it was in Back to the Future. But anyway, it's official. Hyundai's Urban Airport Air 1 has today been chosen as the UK government's Future Flight Challenge, an initiative to develop aviation infrastructure and systems that enable the next generation of electric and autonomous air vehicles. Air 1 is claimed to be the world's first fully operational hub for future electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, eVTOL, VTOL, like cargo drones and air taxis. It will be launched in Coventry, UK, later this week. Later this year. Urban Airport was created to develop fully autonomous and innovative zero-emission infrastructure for future air mobility. It aims to bring industry, government, and the public together to demonstrate how to unlock the potential of a sustainable urban air mobility to reduce congestion, cut air pollution, and holistically decarbonize transport while providing seamless passenger journeys and deliveries. Sounds pretty hot to me, but you got, and it looks like a flying saucer. It's hard to go wrong with that, right? So apparently that you land on top of this thing, and you see it there. You can see like this little flying saucer type shape thing on the ground with like these little runways and like futuristic cars parked all around it. But it's like the top of it is like the landing port, right? So the VTOL, the vertical takeoff and landing, means it goes straight up and straight down. They don't need a runway. So they just land like a helicopter would right on top of this thing, and I'd assume there's some sort of elevator that goes down below where they stage you for a car to take you to wherever you need to go. But anyway, pretty good stuff there, and it is what it is. Pretty neat stuff, right? I thought it was neat because it looked like a flying saucer, and I thought it was double neat because, well, we might have flying cars soon, hopefully. How sweet would that be? Well, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. But how sweet would that be? All right, here we go. Check this one out. Let's get to the terrifying. Right back to the terrifying. From the fun and the weird and the flying saucer shaped stuff, right back to the terrifying. Now, this is from, again, thank you to Dwayne Dibley for teaching me how to get around the paywalls. If you want to know how to do that, just slap it in this archive.vn, and it'll parse it and give you an archive version, and you don't have a paywall. But anyway, so this is from, like I said, Gulf Today. And Dubai police crack murder case using brain fingerprint technology. All right. What the hell does that mean? The officers used the smart analysis device that measures the brain waves when the suspect sees the images of the tools used in the crime or the location and provides a thorough image of the crime scene. All right. Now listen to this. Regarding the details of the murder case in which the Dubai police used the memory print technology, Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Isa al-Humadi confirmed that the case was a murder in a warehouse where several people work. All right. Fair enough. I mean, tragic, of course, but fair enough. We get the details here. So, murder in a warehouse. Then, Hamadi said that the police showed pictures of the crime scene to those present at the place. And there was one person whose brain emitted strong waves when he was shown a tool used in the crime. Interesting. Hamadi said that police experts have carefully selected the photos so that they are related to the incident and that only those people will identify the images who were present or were involved in the crime. Yeah, right? Right? All right. How does this make you feel? I was like, no. No. Double no. Okay, so what if, I'll read just a little bit more and then I'll start with the what ifs here. Because this is important, right? When we're talking about removing people's liberty, we're talking about things like this. New contraptions may sound great, but would you want to be in jail because the machine said you did the thing, whether you did the thing or not? So Hamadi said when the sessions ended, the agency issued a detailed report to the experts about the identity of the criminal who confessed to the details of the crime and the way he planned it. This success came after the forensic psychology experts in the Department of Criminology were able to apply the memory fingerprint to their work tasks and conducted many experiments for a year. The use of this type of brain imaging will help police in their tasks and speed up the process of identifying the perpetrators of the crime and presenting evidence to the judicial authorities to achieve justice. Dun, dun, dun. Achieve justice, right? It's always about achieving justice, especially when they want to do whatever it is they want to do. But I'm not so sure about this one. Brain fingerprint technology. All right, so where to begin? Where to begin with this one? Actually, so I looked it up. I wasn't sure because I was like, no, come on, this is not real, is it? Like this is totally not real. Where is it? I had another article here. Here we go. This is from Wikipedia, from the Ministry of Truth, and I thought, okay, there's no freaking way, right? There's no freaking way. Brain fingerprinting is a thing. Well, apparently it's a thing. Brain fingerprinting, according to Wikipedia, is a lie detection technique which uses electroencephalography, if I said that right, to determine whether specific information is stored in a subject's brain. The technique consists of measuring and recording a person's electrical brain waves and brain response when asked questions about a crime, attempting to elicit a P300 response that indicates familiarity with the details of the crime. The technique is controversial, no shit, unproven, and of questionable accuracy. Therein lies the rub. Questionable accuracy. Comparison of brain fingerprinting with polygraphy showed polygraphs, like regular lie detectors, showed mixed results consistent with a mix of proven techniques and dangerously exaggerated benefits. All right. Even the Ministry of Truth is crapping on this. But, okay. So, I don't know. Like, so if you have a particularly, I don't know, let's say let's say you hate violence. Let's say, you're a peacenik. Let's say you absolutely abhor it to your very core. And then they show you the murder weapon and your brain freaks out, right? Is that enough to say you did it? I mean, I would hope they have better overall evidence than just stuff like this, but this is a little bit terrifying, right? Like, the brain fingerprint technology. And so the thought police, right? Like this actually becomes literally the thought police based on like as you would say, like an emotional reaction to a crime scene or murders or whatever, right? Like murder weapons or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Like there's some people, right, where you pull out a gun, and I don't mean like pointing at them. I mean, like like let's say you're cleaning a firearm and everything's safe and everything's good, but people see that just a firearm and their heart rate goes up, right? Like they freak out because they've never been around a firearm. So you know what I mean? Like everybody's different, and so to line them up in front of this machine and try and say that you know what I'm getting at. This is not justice, guys. This is not justice, is what I'm saying. But anyway, just curiously looking and thinking about this, brain fingerprinting is apparently a thing, and they say that in Dubai that justice was had because they were able to track down the individual who committed the murder in the warehouse based on this brain scanning technology thing. Yeah. How does that make you feel? 702-957-1037. Give me a call. I want to hear if this is if you're cool that this is the future. or it should, once again, right? Should this be rejected entirely as voodoo? This is voodoo, right? Like it depends on the individuals reading the little brain waves, okay? And they interpret this based on, their extensive experience over the years, and then they can tell you if you're a murderer or not based on your brain spurging out in a stressful situation, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. I buy that. You want to be part of the show? Well, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this? Is this terrifying? I think it is. 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, and you can be on the show. Easy as that. Easy peasy. We do it live to include you. This is what it is today. And actually, that website is actually down. Here's I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm going to link the actual one, and I'm not sure why it's not loading for me, but there's the actual website of gulftoday.ae. Anyway, let us continue, shall we? We talked about this Capitol riot, right? Didn't we? We talked about this. Now, I had heard this initially when they first did it, and when this first went down on the 6th, and people right afterwards were saying, kind of out there things like, there were bombs, there's people, and right? You heard it, all the people whining on social media and stuff, and people dying is never a good thing, but for crying out loud, this is not an insurrection. Trust me. Just by definition, it does not mean that. But okay, anyway, I digress. Let's continue. The feds offer $100,000 reward for info about who left pipe bombs near the DNC and RNC the night before the riots. Okay, so when I first heard there were bombs, I wrote it off because I was like, okay, this is just like the death threats you get on Twitter, right? Somebody says, tweets to you, kill yourself on Twitter, and that's a death threat. No, that's some knucklehead saying some dumb things to you that they shouldn't say. That's not a death threat, right? So you see these things and it doesn't ring true to me, right? And so when I heard that there were bombs there and it wasn't really verified, I was like, whatever. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about it because it's rumor mill stuff. Okay, but now the feds have come out and said that there were actually pipe bombs left near the DNC and the RNC, which is, of course, the Democrats and the Republicans, right? And this was the night before the riots, all right? Before the riots. Let's just read a little bit of this. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, of course, has raised the reward to $100,000 for information that leads them to the person or people responsible for placing pipe bombs close to the Republican and Democratic Party offices. So they put them next to both. All right? So what does that tell you? On Friday, the agency said they believe an individual planted the bombs between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. local time on January 5th, the night before the Capitol riots. The individual, they said, wore Nike Air Max Speed turf shoes in yellow, black, and gray, as well as a gray hoodie and a face mask. And if you scroll back up, you can see they have a poorly digitized photograph of this individual, which of course is wearing a face mask, and so you can't see who it is. And then he not only has a face mask, or he or she, let's say, and has a hood pulled up over the head, so you can't see a damn thing about who this person is. But anyway, so the article continues. So the Washington Post reported that agents have interviewed over 1,000 residents and business owners in the areas surrounding where the bombs were found. Security videos obtained by the Post showed the suspect in an alley known as Rumsey Court near the RNC between 8:13 p.m. and 8:17 p.m. on January 5th. Okay, so CNN reported that the devices, which were both found at around 1 p.m. local time on January 6th, were 8 inches long and made of galvanized steel. They were rigged with an egg timer and filled with explosive powder, which, of course, is a fancy way of saying that's a pipe bomb. It's a pipe bomb, right? And I'm not saying, to minimize it. Pipe bombs are still deadly and dangerous and all those things, but it's a pipe bomb, all right? It wasn't a dirty bomb. It wasn't a nuke. These were pipe bombs. All right, so anyway, so it seems that whoever placed these on January 6th is a mysterious individual, clearly, but then also placed them both at the RNC and the DNC, the Republican and the National Committee, and DNC, RNC, Republican Democrat National Committee, right? So anyway, I'm not sure, right? If you read it, you would think that, or if you follow the narrative that the mainstream's shoving down your throat, it's all the guys on the right, it's all the people on the right who are the terrorists, right? The enemies of the state now and the rest of this. But I don't know, like if this individual, whoever this might have been, put bombs by the Republicans as well, that doesn't seem to be the case, does it? This seems to be good old-fashioned anti-government. I don't know. What's a good word? I have no idea. Terrorism. How about that? Actual terrorism. Because you're, clearly you put bombs next to people. I'd call that terrorism. All right. I just would. So, all right. I don't know. Like, again, information finally starts clunking out. This was January 29th, so a couple days ago. But we start to get information now. Like, at first, it was like, like I said, the people were squealing, oh, there's bombs. Of course, no bombs went off. So it makes you wonder if there were actually bombs. But now they're saying that there actually was this individual that planted these bombs, and there were pipe bombs. So anyway, just to be thorough and circle back and cover some of the stuff that I didn't touch when it was happening, because it seemed like it was a bunch of rumors and hearsay. This seems to be confirmed now, at least from this source, Business Insider. So anyway, I don't know what you guys think about that or the rest of this. You guys know what to do. You want to be part of the show. 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org, the official website. Click the Discord link. Come join us there, and come meet great people. There's a lot of great people in there. All right, let's continue. This is from the BTE News, and this is interesting because, well, headline is this: working from home not sustainable as collaboration and culture take a hit. All right, now let's see what this means. Is anybody out there working from home in the chat? Type in the chat, pretty please. If you're working from home, if things have changed since COVID, if you're things have changed in that manner. Interesting that this was again January 27th, and this is of course put out by, who do you think put this out? Working from home has been surprisingly successful for global banks during the first year of the coronavirus pandemic, but is losing its effectiveness. Two prominent industry executives said on Tuesday at a virtual meeting of the World Economic Forum. Where have we heard that before? World Economic Forum. You guys remember that? Klaus Schwab. That guy, right? The Great Reset. Yes. That World Economic Forum. Just pointing it out, where this information came from. Quote, "It's remarkable. It's working as well as it is, but I don't think it's sustainable," said Barclays chief executive Jess Staley. JP Morgan Chase's head of asset and wealth management, Mary Erdoes, said, "It is fraying. It is hard. For employees to focus," Erdoes said, "it takes a lot of inner strength and sustainability without the energy that you get from being around other people." Oh, I see. So you need collaboration, and you need to be around other people to the inner strength and sustainability. Oh, I see. So they want us to go back to work, right? Is basically what we're looking at. This is again from the head of J.P. Morgan's Chase, head of asset and wealth management, right? Super high up there, very large companies. Barclays chief executive Jess Staley, and these people are saying that it's not good. You shouldn't be working from home because for whatever reason, right? What are those reasons? Staley said it will increasingly be a challenge to maintain the culture and collaboration that these large financial institutions seek to have and should have. All right. Again, read into the words of the things they are saying. Maintain the culture and collaboration. What does that mean? What does that mean? He predicted that more people would come back to offices to work, but with flexibility to work from home. Erdoes said executives believe that part of the initial success of working from home was due to adrenaline from having to adapt so quickly. You see what's going on here? You guys were hopped up on speed, natural adrenaline, and that's why you were able to remain productive from home. But now that they can't keep an eye on you, a very close eye on you, they're starting to become uncomfortable, and this is the message that's kind of coming out, right? We'll see. We'll see if this starts to get kicked into the mainstream a little bit more. But interesting. I thought this was like, oh, I see. They don't like us working from home, do they? So yeah. Now she said that executives were facing the likelihood that COVID-19 and its variants would persist for a long time. Quote, "The world is going to have to figure out how to adapt," she said. Staley also told the event, which is being held virtually this year rather than in Davos, the World Economic Forum, yes, due to the coronavirus, that the world economy could experience a boom after the pandemic. Like boom, like that kind of boom. Pent-up demand was widespread and could power growth, he said. You could have a robust second half to the year, Staley said, followed by an explosion of demand. All right, well, working from home not sustainable because you guys were doing it hopped up on adrenaline. What do you think about that? It sounds like a line to me. It sounds like a bunch of BS to me. It sounds like they don't like it, and they're trying to make up reasons why they can take it back, why they can make you come into the office, or whatever the hell's actually going on. So anyway, curious, interesting, and the language they use, again, kind of To me, if you listen closely, it tips off kind of what they're getting at, right? You know when people are bullshitting, if they don't have a good reason for something, they just say what they say, right? And they say BS, and this is BS. This is BS. So why the hell? Why is it not? Are we seriously a year later talking about the only reason people are productive from home is because they're on adrenaline? Seriously? Anybody believe that? No. All right, V-Bro, have a steak for me, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, let's continue, shall we? There's more. There's more here. As always, there's more. This is from the Seattle Times, and let's see. Not the golf. What's up? Says worked at home for 10 years. Yeah, clearly you're hopped up on adrenaline, right? That's the only reason you can be successful working from home. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Not according to you, according to them. Okay, this is from Seattle Times. Highly contagious UK COVID-19 strain found in Snohomish County. And, of course, that is this is January 23rd. This is a few days back. But this is 2 cases of the new COVID-19 variant first identified in the UK have been detected in specimens from 2 Snohomish County residents, health authorities announced Saturday afternoon. The strain of coronavirus spreads more easily and quickly than the original variant, the Snohomish Health District said. As of Friday, there were 195 detections of this version in 22 states, including Oregon. Quote, we thought this variant of concern was here, and now we know it's here. It was a huge team effort by the UW Medicine Virology Lab and required development of several new rapid tests to detect and confirm it, said Dr. Alice Greninger, Assistant Director of the UW Medicine Clinical Virology Lab, in a statement. And again, like I said, we're back to square one, aren't we? Like, this thing has mutated. They say there's a UK version, there's a South African version, there's all kinds of different versions popping all over the world, and they're, again, spreading like crazy. So, to think about the terms, the new normal, and the rest of this. I think, unfortunately, maybe wearing 3 or 4 masks is going to be the new normal, and yeah. This is unfortunate. All this is just not a good thing. Not a good thing. But anyway, just want to point this out. We'll keep an eye on this as it develops. As usual, let's go to discovermagazine.com. You want to be a part of the show? Actually, let's hear a word from our sponsor, which is you, and then we'll finish this up. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. Okay, and remember, if you do that, you have to re-up that every month because it only sticks for 1 month, and then you got to go back in, hit subscribe, and then select Prime again, and it will do that for the next month. So just FYI, it takes like 10 seconds after you've set it up. Less than that, probably like 5 seconds. But yeah, so if I can ask you to keep that steady for the 5 seconds a month it takes, I would appreciate that a lot. Like I said, I know in many cases you're already paying for it, so et cetera, so on. Anyway. Let's continue. DiscoverMagazine.com. Did I link it? No, I did not. All right. So, headline is this. Fruit fly brain hacked for language processing. Let's see. One of the best studied networks in neuroscience is the brain of a fruit fly. In particular, a part called the mushroom body. This analyzes sensory inputs such as odors, temperature, humidity, and visual data so that the fly can learn to distinguish friendly stimuli from dangerous ones. Neuroscientists have long known how this section of the brain is wired. It consists of a set of cells called projection neurons that transmit the sensory information to a population of 2,000 neurons called Kenyan cells. The Kenyan cells are wired together to form a neural network capable of learning. All right. So this is how fruit flies learn to avoid potentially hazardous sensory inputs such as dangerous smells and temperatures while learning to approach foodstuffs, potential mates, and so on. But the power and flexibility of this relatively small network has long raised a curious question for neuroscientists. Could it be reprogrammed to tackle other tasks? All right, let's file this one under how could this go wrong? Now they get an answer thanks to the work of Yuchan Liang of the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, the MIT IBM Watson AI Lab, and colleagues. This team has hacked the fruit fly brain network to perform other tasks, such as natural language processing. It's the first time in a naturally occurring network has been commandeered this way, and this biological brain network is no slouch. Liang and team says it matches the performance of artificial learning networks while using far fewer computational resources. All right, so how does that make you feel? If they could do it to a fruit fly, they can probably do it to a mouse. They can probably eventually do it to you, right? So basically full-on reprogramming of particular parts of the brain. In this case, maybe you would call it the fight or flight mechanism, or like that, whatever allows it to avoid danger. Okay, and so interesting that this is happening, and interesting that where this might head. Let's continue. There's more here. There's always more. There's always more troubling stuff that they're not telling you, that it's not. It doesn't bubble up because they can't use it as a cudgel, right? A political cudgel. But here we go. Yahoo.com reports this: Chinese sailors are suffering from serious psychological disorders aboard South China Sea submarines, a recent study found. This is from January 29th, just a couple days ago. Here we go. Chinese submarines patrolling the contested South China Sea are suffering from serious psychological disorders, according to a recently published study first reported by Stars and Stripes. One group of military personnel at high risk of mental health problems is the submarine force, especially in the South China Sea. 5 Chinese researchers affiliated with the Institute of Military Health Management at Naval Medical University of Shanghai wrote in an article published this month in Military Magazine. 108 out of 511 surveys of Chinese submarines in the South China Sea showed signs of psychological disorders ranging from depression and anxiety to hostility, the study found. The results were compared to mental health norms among male service members across the Chinese armed forces and were found to be significantly higher. Quote, this study demonstrates for the first time that soldiers and officers in the submarine force in the South China Sea are facing mental health risks and suffering from serious psychological problems, the researchers concluded. Okay, so what in particular is this, do you think? Myself, I don't know. Is there some sort of chemical space over there going on? We know they're building islands in the South China Sea. Is there... I don't know. Is it like a psychological pressure of being in the Chinese military and in a submarine in that particular area? Who knows? Who knows what the hell's really going on? But clearly, something to keep an eye on. As maybe this develops into something else. Maybe it's maybe they painted the inside of their submarines with something that is not good. Not good. Okay, so we talked about this, so we can probably skip this one. Let's just glaze over it real fast. CNN reports this. It's not just GameStop. Market bubble fears are rising, and that's kind of like what we were saying earlier, right? Kind of what Ark was saying on the other one there as well. That there's a lot of interesting things happening in the stock market right now, and with the markets in general. So anyway, it's not just GameStop. Market bubble fears are rising, and then one more from CNN Business. Let's go to this, and we'll finish this up. Now, I thought this was pretty funny because, of course, right, if you have one group of people do it for the GameStop, they're not going to stop there. They're going to have to be stopped through regulation somehow. Or, of course, like I said, the reason the hedge funds were actually screwed is their own fault for over leveraging and being obvious in what they're doing. They didn't diversify enough, and so they got screwed. All right, now people are going to copy this, and look what's happening. China's army of small investors want in on the GameStop mania. All right. The frenzy over GameStop has inspired amateurs everywhere to shake up stock markets. Now China's massive army of retail investors wants to get in on the action. Talk of the video game retailer's epic share surge has taken the Chinese social media and the eye-popping gains in that stock, and others have become the envy of the country's young day traders. They're now calling on each other to band together to emulate their American counterparts in driving up the share prices of struggling companies. Market makers are trembling in front of retail investors who group together, wrote one user on the social media website Weibo. It will soon be China's turn. Now, they're talking about cracking down here on this behavior, right? So we'll see what kind of stuff they do here, what kind of legislation happens. I hope to hell they don't just put in more laws to protect the hedge funds and screw everybody else. Talk about a joke. I mean, like we're supposed to believe, again, like I said, that everything's not the upside down and it's not a rigged system and all the rest of this. Like, we're supposed to buy into that illusion. But clearly, if they step in and like cement it right now with let's protect the rich guys and keep this from happening again. It's again, there's 1,000 examples, there's 1,000,000 examples probably, but it's something, like I said, something to keep an eye on. We will keep an eye on it and see what happens as they start to legislate these things and give it the fair run. Like they may have I hate to say it, but every once in a while you get some good ideas come out of government. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here? I know we have like we saw some politicians that were actually on the side of the actual regular investor and not Wall Street. So we'll see how that shakes out. But Wall Street is very powerful, and yeah, exactly. So there it is. So anyway, this is if China is going to do it, it's going to happen the world over, right? Like, once people know how to do it, it's putting fear in the hearts of people that run hedge funds, because they're going to start losing money like crazy, and so they're going to have to, instead of getting easy money like they always have, now they're going to have to work for it, right? And this is the way it always should have been. Because if you can get a group of people to screw you out of billions like that, then you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong. And so they're going to have to work. They're going to really have to work. But the problem here is they control all the AI. They're partners with Google and all the rest of these guys. So it's like, they'll start using AI algorithms to jump in and out of the markets when they can at perfect times and all the rest of this. So anyway, I think that's the thing that bothers me the most, is it'll just ratchet up, and my opinion, it'll end up just becoming harder and harder to keep up with their fast trades, because you're not going to be able to leverage against their long-term short sales or whatever's going on. So anyway, blah, blah. Let's see. What's up? A couple great comments from chat, and then we'll finish this up. Let's see. Stock market wars, says 40s arc. Yeah, exactly. It could be between nations. Yeah, well, or between the people in their own nations. I think that's interesting how this might shake out. Dolly says, if market bubble did happen, then you would have that and COVID equals World Economic Forum restart. It's a conspiracy, right? Yeah, there would be a great reset, wouldn't it? So we have a financial meltdown based on printed money. We have the status quo going away, and the power to the average investor is going to be stripped, I'm sure, in some way. They're going to have to do it, right? I mean, they can't protect us and then expect. I don't know. I just don't know what to expect anymore. I don't know what to think anymore, because it's all over the damn place. But anyway, as we finish this up, we're done. This has been Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. We're doing this 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific. We're also doing Troubled Minds. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific. And we'll be talking about aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, and some of these concepts in greater length over there. So if you enjoy this stuff, please just spread the word. That's the most important thing. Let somebody know. Share these videos. We got tons of videos going up, tons of stuff all over the place. I got content galore, more than you could shake a stick at. And the thing is, we're all over, right? Sometimes we talk about ghosts, sometimes we talk about aliens, sometimes we talk about the stock market and this crazy stuff that's going on, right? But there's something for everybody is kind of the point. And so, so please spread the word. Do that. I would be forever grateful. And let's finish. Let's play the outro until tomorrow, shall we? This is a Star Wars crawl, chock full of the great people who have supported this show thus far. You want to do that? You want to get on this list on your own Star Wars crawl? Go straight to Twitch. You can find that link right on troubledminds.org, or I don't know if you're watching now, you're probably on Twitch anyway. Just click the subscribe button. Super easy. So this show is funded directly by a decentralized freedom squad that answers only to ourselves. Corporate and political interests can jump off. Thank you to AJ Dare, Alien Nichan, Arc Platinum, Axel Steel 3, Dark Devious, FGC Spiral, Guerdo75, Ident, Lizzie Dags, Monochromatic, Nikki Nix, Noble Kal-El, thanks for boosting the Discord as well, Often Frozen, Quint67, Supervike1, and Satan Claus. And that brings us to the end today. The bad news is we're done. The good news is, God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic afternoon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I'm Michael Strange. This is Conspiracy News.